bright and early with a Bonnaroo announcement lineup. And we have lots to say about it already. Let's do some introductions real quick before we get to the good stuff.
That is the good stuff. The
that
introductions.
Is the good stuff. Yes, yes.
I'm Brad. Nice to meet you. Hi.
I'm Bryan. Bryan Steiner. Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah. Enjoy
Lesley and Barry.
Hey.
These guys are here because they've attended a bunch of Bonnaroos.
They're vets.
I feel like we're Bonnaroo experts at this point.
Bonnaroo experts.
Yeah.
How many you been to?
13. This will be number 13.
All right.
If we can make it. If we get there.
It's 12 for me.
I've been to every one of them. The first year, I jumped the fence on a Saturday night just to see what the fuss was all about, to watch Widespread Panic, because I was just starting. It was a jam band festival, obviously, when it first started. And then I've been there for the full weekend ever since.
Wow.
So technically every year, but only for a couple hours on that.
Yeah, well, that's
Don't tell anybody.
I went to the first.
The fence was pretty much down.
I went to the opening day, the first one, and then I've been every year since '07. So we're here to talk about the lineup, which just dropped. You haven't been.
I'm a
never
virgin.
Been. Lesley
A
is
virgin.
not.
That's because
been.
you like
careful.
to shower. You like to bathe.
Go easily here.
Thank you.
Well, you're gonna
my
fit-
first
you're
time. Thank you.
You're going to fit right in with your trucker hat. Let's be
Oh.
honest. You'll fit right in.
My cougar
Yeah.
trucker hat.
I love the trucker hat.
Perfect.
I love the trucker hat.
Of course
Thank
he does.
you. Thought it was appropriate for this experience, right? But Barry's gonna take me maybe this year.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
gonna
let's
try.
get.
Right.
I'm
We can get
just-
ourselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all get in first.
I can
If
jump.
we
I
get
can jump
in, this
fence.
will be 13.
Fences
Yeah,
aren't as
we'll see.
easy to jump as they used to be.
No, they're a little trickier. But the lineup
Okay.
just dropped like a minute ago. We've got the full lineup on, if you haven't seen it already, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons. Basically, we're going to get your opinion, and then the rest of us are going to tell you why you're wrong. So
Okay, great.
That's how that works.
This
So-
is
Brad's good at that.
This is as heavy onto one format of music as I can remember a Bonnaroo lineup being.
And that being
If-
pop, electronic.
Well, EDM,
dance.
right? And even if you have a million different opinions on EDM, boy, there is a lot of electronic stuff happening here. And
Yeah.
if you like it, if you like radio airplay, if you like bands that are going to be monstrous on top 40 radio, this is it for you.
Yeah.
I wonder where some of the legacy second card acts are. You know, like in years past, where we had a Kenny Rogers or a Lionel Richie. The weirdness factor is sort of not there.
There's no Guar this year.
There's no gore, but boy, for all the slack that they took, and all the flat slack, that's not right, and all the flack that they took for the top
early.
few lines last year, boy, did they, I think, really hone in on this top group.
Yeah.
U2, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Weeknd, Chance the Rapper, Major Lazer, Flume, Lord, The XX, Travis Scott, Martin Garrix, Marshmello. If you listen to my radio station, Hits 96, this is our entire playlist, aside from U2 and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
That is nothing but radio airplay.
It is a little different. Last year was Pearl Jam, which was huge.
Dead and Company.
Dead and Company.
Two top headliners.
LCD Sound System.
LCD, which was back, and then the rest of the line, which a lot of people I think thought that was kind of a weak, maybe not Pearl Jam, but it wasn't the mass.
Depending on what
appeal.
demographic you're talking
Right.
to. And that's what I think about this year is the complete antithesis of last year.
That's what I was going to say.
And I think last year they misestimated where the ticket sales were going to go. And I think they were counting on Gen X and baby boomers to buy a lot of those tickets and then hope for those rite of passage 18 to 25s, and they didn't get the Gen Xers and the baby boomers like they thought.
They also last year, I think, and this is no fault, I think they were counting on like a Macklemore, his album doing better.
Right.
He was that second tier.
That's
headliner.
exactly right. And that's what
And it
they're
didn't.
and that's what they're doing with Marshmello. I mean, this Marshmello kid, you know, he's a EDM DJ. He wears pajamas on stage. It's like he just pulled himself out of the Bonnaroo campsite, and he'll just be, you know, sitting on stage, and he does a lot of woo, hands up thing. You know, it's not for me, but that kid's going to be huge come June.
Right.
Come June, that's all you're going to hear on the radio is this Marshmello kid. If everything pans out the way that they think, and you know, Bonnaroo can take chances like that. You know, you compare it to other lineups around the country. I don't know if they take as many chances as Bonnaroo does, but you can still see threads of Bonnaroo past in here. But it is very much a it's a pop centric lineup this year.
I
much
love
more way than the years past.
for the Cougars out there, not the Marshmallow Kids, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was really cool for me. I'm excited about that. Is anyone else excited? I was playing Danny.
Well, the
California
campsite joke is that I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
We don't have to get too far into inside jokes, but I could have done without them. I mean, the one thing Bonnaroo's done a lot that I always found to be interesting is they repeat acts a lot. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at all other festivals across the country to see if they do it as much. I don't pay attention to others as much, but a lot of Humphreys McGee is on this for the jam band crew. They've been there countless times.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Glass Animals has been there before.
They do, and I've talked to the festival organizers and the bands, to be honest, and a lot of what they do when they bring them back is a progression. You'll see them first on a small stage, and then they'll be on a big.
And it is
stage.
interesting to see how that trajectory
And that's on
goes.
purpose. You know, like a Macklemore who was on the what stage 3 years ago,
Yeah.
4 years ago, was to me the surprise hit of that.
A Saturday afternoon set that then turned into a later set 2 years later.
Yeah, it was huge.
You know, they reward the bands that they took chances on, that then get bigger and bigger. Which, by the way, he mentioned our campsite. If you don't know, you're looking at one of the most ridiculous campsites.
My head didn't make it.
Three of 12 people that we camp with every single year. It just couldn't be a dumber campsite, and it is just a ridiculous.
It's glorious.
It's like a Disney
dumbest
World.
way possible.
It's a Disney World of grown men and one woman. So
Camp Nut Butter.
yeah, Camp Nut Butter as it's
I don't
affectionately
know if I'm
known
going
as.
to fit in.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
We always have visitors. We always have stragglers that
I'll
come
be honest
with you.
make up the periphery.
You have to
Wow,
go-
I'm feeling some pressure. All right.
You have to go through a very
There's a
vigorous
vetting
vetting process.
Yeah, and you do
I'll be
have.
honest with you, you haven't made the cut.
I know.
We're gonna
I
have
know.
to-
I'm like getting it together.
We have to have a camp meeting
Wait, a
to
meeting,
vote
okay.
for new members. So,
Which
I'm
means
really
drinking
fun.
craft
I'm
beer
really
at one
fun.
of his favorite joints in town.
right.
You know, we're
I
laughing.
like craft beer.
Okay, well you're that much closer.
To me, we're laughing about the camp, but it's important, I think, because a lot of people think Bonnaroo is this sweaty mud pit that people just endure and that it's horrible.
Which it can be.
And it can be if you're not
I want to
smart.
experience it all.
But
Sweaty
we've
Mud
all-
Pit was my nickname in jail, by the way.
We're all veterans of this, so we learned over the years what we need and what we don't need. And the camp is a lot of fun. I mean, we have carpeting. One year we had a vacuum cleaner.
Well, the
That's what
point
you
is
make
that
it is my point.
the point is that when you
Full-length
find
mirror for his.
Sure, for my hair.
Yeah.
So when you have lineups that can take you all around the country, from Coachella to Governor's Ball to Firefly to Hangout, you can get a lot of repetition. A lot of these bands play pretty much at all of these things. What makes Bonnaroo different is the camp, is the social aspect of it. And we decided, 7-8 years ago, that I think one of the bigger headliners is going to be our camp. We need to make camp just as much fun as anything else, and I don't think we're the only ones. I mean, there's 30,000, 40,000 people who do the exact same thing that we do. We just,
Season.
we just have a diva in our
fine.
group
Yeah.
that makes things very
Oh, you're the diva?
Oh, yeah.
Got some competition.
yeah.
Okay.
Look, I realized a few years ago that I couldn't live in dirt, so we started bringing 500 square feet of carpeting.
Interesting revelation.
Which, by the way, where is the Bloody Mary bar? If we're gonna do
Bloody Mary
Bonnaroo,
bar.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah, so-
but you're right.
we
you're
have
right.
we have a wedding tent. We bring a couch. We
We didn't have a couch last
we
year.
have a
that's
couch. We
true.
have everybody's giant cartoon heads on sticks. We have
have
vacuum
gate.
cleaner. We have a kitchen.
We have a lighted gate.
We
entryway.
have
Yeah,
we have a marquee.
A marquee, yeah.
Oh.
We have
Which it's a miracle the weather hasn't taken down at one of these points because it's always flimsy and about to fall over. But we've been very lucky with good weather the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
so again, it's make it fun, and
getting
the camping
exciting.
part of it is the commitment. You're talking about the lineup, and that's a huge part about Bonnaroo. There are other festivals, arguably other festivals with lineups that maybe appeal to whoever more. But this one is you're there. You might as well go see the music, and
Yeah.
it's going to be good.
Yeah,
That's
when
what-
I learned a few years ago, I don't like sweating. I don't like dirt. I don't like a lot. I don't like people. So
this is
this
a perfect
this
We
is
went in our
video.
Yeah, so-
people, actually.
So
It's like, what in the world is this Brad guy doing at this festival every
So
year?
what I realized
I'm
is
excited to
that
meet
I had
with people.
I had to figure out a way to make this work because I loved it so much. And you invest 5 days of you. Once you lose all the control, once you say to yourself, I'm not going to
that's
control
good.
anything else.
I love that.
I'm not going to worry about anything that I usually worry
Just
about.
gonna let it go.
And you immerse yourself into it. It is
Yeah.
the most glorious. It's now extended into 5 days for us of my year. It is
I love
literally
that.
the best 5 days of my year.
And I
every
think
year.
that's what Bonnaroo really needs to hope going forward. They can continue to be the big selling point because everybody
experience.
the experience because nobody else has the festival quite like that. And you've got all these other ones that Brad mentioned, and Shaky Knees came out the other day, which is an incredible lineup as well. And there's so many good ones all over the all over the country. But it's a totally different experience. But what you've got to bank on and hope is that you continue that rite of passage 18 to 25-year-old. That's the lifeblood of the population that goes there. And if you lose them, you lose a lot because 35, 45-year-old men and women aren't exactly interested in hanging out in a field all as much.
Well, that's where they're putting their
I
money.
mean, we are. But
Yeah, because I need to get out of the house.
Again,
Yeah.
that's where
How
the
many kids do you
festival,
have?
especially with Live Nation now being owner, is putting their money. We saw it last year with all the cabanas and the permanent tents and the roll like a rock star with you can rent a tour bus for 12 of your friends for several $1,000s.
so hope they don't price themselves out of the game here too.
Right, and forget the young, and I think that's probably what we're seeing reflected in this lineup.
Because of not getting the older crowd that they were hoping to get last
It
year.
was down last year.
Well, even being, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you have a 35-year-old male, 35 to 54-year-old male, there's probably not a lot here for you. But boy, there's enough to find down here. If you want to experiment, if you really want to play, there is so many really interesting things that you can discover, and that's part of what Bonnaroo is about. It's discovering things that you absolutely look. You're stuck on a field for 4 days. You don't have a choice but to go out and experiment
That's
and
what
play.
we talked. We talked
Experiment.
about that last year when felt like it was 400 degrees. If you're at another
yeah, so
festival,
hot.
you're in a hotel room, you have that choice.
Yes.
I can stay here in the air conditioning.
Yes.
Until your favorite band plays.
Yeah. Or do I really like that band enough
Right.
to leave this? At Bonnaroo, I'm here.
I don't have a
It's
choice.
300 yards away.
Yeah.
I might as well go see this
And the
band.
sun's baking your tent. It's 500 degrees in your tent.
It's hot here,
Let's
it's
get out of here and
hot
go see what's
there.
going on out in Center
It's
Room.
survival.
It is survival.
You're just, and you have to, when you push yourself to the limit, it usually pays off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
me and Barry went to Forecastle together a few years ago, and we stayed a mile away from the festival, and there were just dozens of bands that we wanted to see. We saw 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, why don't we go to this brewery?
Yeah,
Why
let's
don't
go
we
to a restaurant, let's go get lunch.
let's go do something other
And
than
Forecastle's a great festival.
And it's a great festival,
Beautiful
but
site,
when you're stuck in a
easy.
city, there's options for you to choose that you may not be going to see James Vincent McMorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So I know you guys. Speaking of all the people playing, how many are playing? Do we know how many?
About
bands?
100.
Okay, and
That's what's announced now.
Did you guys count how many you wanted to see? I see some.
My number is pretty low. I'm a rock and
Okay, who
roll.
do you wanna see?
I'm a rock and roll guy, and I think that if this lineup proves to be popular and they sell the tickets they want to do, I think this might prove that rock and roll in
It's
the
dead.
pop culture, I don't want to say dead, but it's not where we're all used to it being.
Yeah.
But just right off the top for me, Cage the Elephant, and most of these are indie rock
Yeah.
/ pop, Cold War Kids, The Head and the Heart, Milky Chance.
You
like the
won't like
Strumbellas?
any of those bands. I know you. You won't like any
Well,
of them.
I'm
because
stretching.
they're indie. They're not like
he's saying
classic
he's
rock.
saying that because he wants to seem cool right now.
Oh,
the
okay.
only band
Listen
he,
to this guy.
Do you want to see like Bob Seger?
Listen to this guy.
every
Yeah, it's easy top. Hopefully they'll come back.
every band he wants to see sounds like the Hail for Hail
That's
Hail
enough.
for.
That's
Oh,
enough.
really?
Yeah, that's exactly
Okay.
how it goes, as a matter of fact. And car seat headrest, thank you, Brad, for that.
Car seat headrest
recommendation.
is one of the
Can we
big.
stop making fun of me now for a minute and talk about
car seat headrest
incredible band.
is one of the bright spots of indie rock right now. It's really just a guy. I think he's from Australia or something. He's
Oh.
blown up
Is he cute?
overseas.
No.
Oh. Well, anyone.
I'm
who
so
can play
glad
is
you
cute.
rushed to make that decision.
No,
Wow.
he's a very weird looking dude.
Oh, I would like him. Yeah.
Stork Rock. Stork Rock. It's incredible well lyricist, if that's the way you put it, dork rock.
Okay.
This guy is making judgments on
I
how
love how
pretty
this
man
guy
is.
tells me what I like every year, except for everything you like, Brian. What else are you gonna see this year?
Okay. So.
Bryan will come prepared with
For
a
the-
laminated schedule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a
For everybody.
contributor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm a contributor.
If I make it,
You have to bring something to camp. So you
Okay.
have to bring something unique to
I
camp.
can bring it.
Can you? I hope so.
I can bring it, brought it, done.
Okay, all right.
Okay, let's talk about your choices. Okay, I'm sorry for. you
No,
know,
no,
what's
no,
going on
no. I
with
mean,
you
Brad
over
tells me
here.
what I like every day of my life.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
good.
Yeah.
I care about your well-being.
I
I have
understand.
a partner like that at work
He's a
as
giver
well.
that way.
I am a
understand.
giver.
Oh,
You're
and
right.
I forgot. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I can't wait.
Yeah, you'll see.
Got my microphone ready.
Danny, California.
There is not an album I loved more this year than James Vincent McMorrow's "We Move" album. Now he was a singer-songwriter. He's
Where's he from?
he's
I'll look it up later.
English. I
Okay.
don't know.
Oh, like that too.
Foreigner.
Yes.
But he
Not
But
Brad.
he
Okay.
wrote really esoteric, weird singer-songwriter stuff for the better part of his career, and then I don't know what happened this latest album, but he hooked up with some sort of producer that refined his sound to the point where it may not be the best album of the year, but it's something that I can't stop listening to.
Oh.
I listen to
I'll
it
listen to that.
maybe 3-4 times a week. I can't stop listening to this record. We moved from James Vincent McMorrow, and I'm really excited because
Okay.
oftentimes when you change producers, the sound doesn't translate live. So I'm enormously interested to see how that goes, and he's not playing many other festivals in the country this year. I am a sucker for garage punk, so I really like the Orwells. I think the Orwells are going to be a Thursday surprise. Thursday is a discovery day. Thursday is a day where you just jump in and see who might be the big thing next year.
Yeah,
The
it's
Orwells,
move-in day, so they program it. It's not the big names.
right?
So in the,
The main
past,
stages are dark, and it's just the side stages.
who's been like a breakout in the last
Alabama
couple years?
Shakes were on
Okay,
Thursday
cool.
night 4 years ago, right when their first album, Boys and Girls, came out. They were the darlings of Thursday night. Moon Taxi came out of Thursday night as well.
Courtney Barnett was.
Courtney
there.
Barnett
Courtney
was a
Barnett
headliner
was
for
Oh,
last
Thursday.
so Thursday could be the night.
Thursday is my
Yeah.
favorite day of the festival.
Oh, cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, everybody has just gotten there. If the weather even kind of cooperates, everybody's in a great mood.
Yeah.
and
They're
it's-
still clean.
Everybody's
Yeah.
clean, and the site is still in very good shape. Thursday is
Still
a
got
very
the new car
exciting
smell
day.
on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
Facebook Lives, if we're allowed to do Facebook Lives, should be very interesting as the days go on.
What I prepare my bosses for when I go and I tell them I'm going to be covering this thing. You're going to get so many reports. I run into network problems every year. It just never
yeah.
seems
They
So
to
get
work.
crazy.
worse. They get worse as the weekend.
There's
goes
more
on.
people show up.
See,
than
some of
network.
us go to Bonnaroo and actually do work every day at most throughout the day, and then get made fun of why we didn't see the band that Brad guy wanted us
Yeah.
to see because we were busy working when our network wasn't offline.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Oh.
Another band that I really love, and he's right, Car Seat Headrest, I just adore with
Incredible.
everything I have.
Incredible.
I think the one band, or the one artist that might be the one that we all just like stumble upon, and we oh yeah, I remember how much I love him, Michael Kiwanuka. Just as beautiful of a songwriter, as beautiful of a producer, as beautiful of a live show that is, Ed is going to be so pretty. If they put that at the right spot, like a Sunday at 1 o'clock, Sunday at 2 o'clock, that's like going to church, man.
Oh, cool.
That's,
Very
I
cool.
mean, that discovery is a huge part of this festival for most people. And I think when people go, what the thing they're surprised is the audience. You're there because you want to be there, and you're there because you want to hear music and discover music. You're not there to be seen. You're not there because your boyfriend or girlfriend said it'd be cool. 'cause
Don't
it's
bring your
too much
boyfriend and
work.
girlfriend there.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Don't bring. If they don't want to be there, don't bring them.
Right.
They use the word magic a lot.
Is
and
it kind of like Vegas?
I
Like,
get
what happens stays there.
well, let's be honest with you. It's not going to
You
stay
said
there.
it was magical.
If something happens, it's coming back with you.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you know what I mean.
I hate to be
No,
corny
I can handle that. Yeah.
and dorky about it, but they use the word magic, and it truly is it just kind of it changes your overall the attitude, or for me anyway.
Well-
And I actually like small talk. I want to know
Me
where you're
too.
from.
I like it too.
I want to know why you're here. I want to know what you do in life.
You don't.
Well, no, in normal life, I don't
do.
care for 1 second what you're doing, and I would wish you would leave me alone, and I don't care about talking about the weather. But there, I am truly interested in my neighbors and why they're here, and tell me all about it.
We all become a different version. I think we become maybe the best version of
I
ourselves
think so,
there.
definitely.
It's very weird. It's a very
Until
very
Sunday
weird
afternoon rolls around, and then we all turn into jerks again.
I've
It's the
described
heat.
it
It's the heat.
with everything. Porta potties, heat, and they have now bathrooms and showers. But to me, I've described it as heaven inside of hell.
I dated her once.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Because if you like music, there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I mean, and this sounds really corny, but it's the truth. When I started going back in 2007, I was reminded of why I like music and why I got into this business in the first place. And then we saw McCartney,
Sweet.
what, 5 years ago, and it was
love
like,
to see him.
that's why I like music.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's because of that guy.
That's why I like the arts.
And
That's why I enjoy art.
And I wasn't alone in that. I mean, seeing the McCartney show.
Oh, awesome.
Seeing an 8-year-old next to his 80-year-old grandfather singing every word is pretty magical. So,
Well, enough about us though. Leslie, what are you seeing on the lineup that you like?
Well, I'm not going to compare them to McCartney, but I've seen U2 before. I saw U2 and Pearl Jam in Hawaii together before, and
Wow.
that was amazing.
Tough gig.
Yeah, it was a beautiful outdoor, like 8-hour long event. If Eddie Vedder's speaking, kind of goes on and on.
I like.
Yeah, drinking a little wine.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Yeah, but U2 puts on a great, and Bono too. I mean, he likes to go on. They like
ideologically are in the same spot. Yeah.
Right. So, but the music was great. So I look forward to that. I like Lorde.
Yeah. Well, this is her only festival show. Bonnaroo's the
I
only
don't
place
mind
they got
either.
her.
I
I
like
want to see her.
Yeah.
I think
She's
she
strong,
like
strong voice.
Florence and the Machine are a pretty good.
I love
festival.
Florence and the Machine.
I think Lorde is. I got the chance to interact with her backstage at Lollapalooza when during her big year, not her only year.
Yeah.
Boy, she just could not have been a sweeter
Oh, cool.
17-year-old girl. She just bouncing around, loved absolutely everybody. I just want her to succeed just because she's sweet.
Because she was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you meet a lot of them. I mean, some are so cool, and some are a little icy or ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
Sometimes looking at this, I've thought I feel like a teenager kind of. A lot of these are like coffee house people that I've heard, like the Strumbellas. I have a tendency to sometimes like those popular songs, and I feel bad about it. The Head and the Heart is another one.
Yeah.
But not necessarily people I would buy tickets to see alone.
Right, they pop up on your Spotify playlist, and you're like, I like them,
And
but I
I'm
have
like,
no
that's-
idea what the rest of the 45
I feel
minutes
like I'm
is.
a 17-year-old, like
Sure.
romantic little girl, but they're fun. And I said the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think they have they're fun. They're entertaining.
Do you like the new album?
No.
Okay, good. Well, that's gonna be the whole show.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
I do think that U2 and the Red Hot Chili Peppers are probably good at the top of this bill. I think they translate well with some of the indie rock, pop, electronic crowd, and U2. I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm a huge fan, but I've never seen them, and if I don't see them here, I never will.
I know,
So
and that's exactly the point. I said the same thing about Springsteen. Look, I'm too young.
I love
I'm too
Springsteen.
young to like Springsteen.
Oh
I was
my God,
never.
I love
But
Springsteen.
boy, was that show amazing! Did I love
Yeah.
everything about it? I'm not a. I know this is insane. I was never a big McCartney or Beatles fan. But boy, did I love that McCartney show. They give you something that you don't really ever need. It's the hero you need, not the hero we deserve. They give you U2, and if you go, it'll probably blow your mind. It'll probably be amazing. And I'm not even that big of a fan of U2, but I bet it's gonna be great.
For that is
It'll
Lionel
be good.
Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
fun.
I absolutely
Love
dogged when it was
I
announced.
love Lionel
Could not
Richie.
believe they were bringing Lionel Richie. And
It
that's
was a
still
fun
the most
evening.
talked about
Yeah,
show.
it was a fun
that
evening.
people
Well,
have.
can you now? Lionel Richie also did Riverbend, right? Is that correct? Who was it that did
I don't
Riverbend
think
and then did Bonnaroo?
was Beach Boys.
Okay,
without
well-
Bryan.
Yeah, that was a Mike Love
Okay,
band.
so
I'm seeing Brian Wilson in May.
So
I
I hope
too.
I hope the takeaway for anybody that's never actually been to Bonnaroo is that the lineups don't translate. They don't translate to other spots on the planet, right? So if you find something on Bonnaroo and somebody says, "Yeah, but we got them at Riverbend,"
Well, there's
it's
a couple ones.
not
Are
going to
there?
translate.
It's not the same
It's not going
thing.
to translate because you can see U2.
Humphreys.
You can see U2 and Pearl Jam in Hawaii, and I'm sure that's going to be a great show. But there's
Amazing.
something different about what happens on at Bonnaroo's stage, on the Bonnaroo stage, because they know that the audience has been there all day, dedicated, dying to watch them, standing in the heat all day. The audience gives them so much back that they have to put on the best show that they've
That's
ever
awesome.
put on.
And the expectation from the audience is show me something different.
Yep.
I want to see it.
You know why?
Stretch.
Because there's
Try.
something 5 minutes away that I can go see that I'll enjoy
Yeah.
just as much.
I love
It's
that.
interesting because most of the bands coming in know that. They want to do that something extra. Whether it's another song or play longer, they can play as long as they want. I mean, the My Morning Jacket show there several years ago was 4 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Really?
Started at midnight, 4.5 in the rain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
you
Not
know-
even my morning
Oh,
jacket
that
fan, but
sounds
I
fun.
loved it. I loved
love
everything
that.
about it.
They're the perfect Bonnaroo act.
Yeah,
I
they
think.
I could see that.
I mean, the perfect example we were talking about earlier of graduating amongst the stages. I mean, starting from the small tent stages to the main stage
That's
3
exactly right.
years ago over the course of a decade. And so that's
You know,
a
the
perfect
one,
example.
the one
of what
act
we're
that
talking about.
didn't sort of do that to me was the Police, and there was that expectation that they were going to stretch.
Right.
I think Andy Summers had been there before, and I remember talking to him, and he said he tried to get the other guys, but it was funny.
They just had no engagement
He,
whatsoever.
he was like, "You can't talk to Sting."
That was in
Things like
2007, with the first time they ever had everything dark except for the main stage. And I think this only other time they've done that was McCartney the other year. It was
When you say dark, you mean nothing else playing.
Meaning nothing
Yeah,
else going on at
that
the same
Saturday
time.
night headliner gets the whole festival site. Yeah,
How many side stages are there?
12, I think.
Okay,
If
cool.
you, and some of them are not much bigger than this table.
Yeah,
Right.
of the main, what you consider main acts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, I guess.
What, which, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, and then you have the solar stage. Then you have a kaleidoscope stage for EDM. Then you have a
Sonic stage.
Sonic stage. You have a Miller Lite stage for up and coming bands.
Was it Sonic or Miller Lite? That I mean, Amanda Shires. was
Amanda
there.
Shires?
I
yeah,
love Amanda
I
Shires.
adore her.
Angel
Yeah,
voice.
and
Great
she was under a tiny tent that's not even as big as this room.
Right.
Cool.
Standing from me to you, watching
Yeah.
her perform.
Yeah.
Big fan. She opened up for John Prine this year.
Yeah. And then
Barry
later,
turned me onto that.
Yeah.
Later played with her husband Jason Isbell. So.
I'm excited though. I mean, it might not be my
Maybe it'll
favorite
surprise
list, but
you.
well, it's something always does.
Barry, who do
something
you
always
have?
does surprise.
What do you have, Barry?
Yeah, what do you
I
have?
honestly-
I see little check marks.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Brad to tell me.
Okay.
Can't make up your mind until you discuss it with Brad first.
I liked the headliners. I didn't like last year's. I mean, Pearl Jam's okay, but they weren't. I'm not the fan that Bryan is. But this year, I've seen U2, saw the Zoruba tour in Birmingham. I want to see. They're doing the Joshua Tree. I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, good point.
Cool.
30-year
Yeah,
anniversary.
the whole
I
album.
love it.
Yeah.
The one that I'm really glad to see on there is Angelique Kidjo.
Yeah, I figured you'd. I almost brought that up. I thought that would be something that you'd like.
Yeah, she was.
I'm glad I introduced you to that.
Actually, Carla Pritchard. She might have been Carla
yeah.
Horner at the time. Angelique
Cool.
was here at Nightfall.
No
You guys
kidding,
some
what
more
year?
coffee.
Long time ago.
Really?
It was right around the same Richard Thompson. I mean, we're talking
Wow.
about seeing some acts. Angelique, yeah.
Way to go, Carla.
Yeah, she brought some incredible acts, and which to me ties into this because if you've not heard of somebody, go see them.
Oh wow.
You've been,
Table service.
You know me.
Can I order some eggs?
The waitress in me, she's always
Okay.
there.
Is this spiked with anything? Because I would. I'm already ready to drink.
Kahlua is in my bag. Let me just go get it.
I'll be honest with you, not to, but when you wake up at camp, it's drinking time. It's
Okay.
it's time to start drinking. What else is there to do?
Yeah, to a point.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody out and they say, you must be, drinking all the time there. And it's like, the last thing you want to do is wake up at 6:30 under 85-degree weather with a hangover.
No, you do not
And the
want
only
that.
option you have is a porta potty.
Yeah.
So it's not quite the
Yeah,
party
you gotta
everybody-
pace yourself, and I think we all do a pretty good job of
Yeah,
that.
it's not the. It's
Who else you got?
I'll probably go see Humphreys, at least walk by. Cold War Kids, of course. The Super Jams. We haven't mentioned the Super Jams.
Well, you don't know who's going to host it. Michael Kiwanuka would probably be my guess. I don't know, but you know, the one thing that we missed, I don't know what is today. Is today January 11th? In 2 days, we might be getting maybe one of the best albums of the year dropped on us by the XX. I think that this XX album is going to be a monster, and you know, they're on the second line of this festival lineup, and that's going to be the show that you might not be able to get anywhere near.
Yeah.
Those press passes don't help. No.
Well, it depends on who you're with.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Denson.
You sure?
So I need to
inside
make
jokes
I need
began.
to like try to make some connections.
Yes. Yeah. You gotta
Wow.
brag, guy. This is where Brad. That's a long story. Yeah. You gotta
gotta-
manipulate the system a little bit.
Oh no.
For those who
Alright.
don't know, the Super Jam is basically an all-star lineup. They pluck various performers from the bands that are there, and they do a 90-minute Super Jam.
I really have a sneaking suspicion. If it's not the Super Jam, it's going to be somewhere. Bono's going to pop up, or Edge is going to pop up somewhere with somebody. It's
The
just
only question there is we figure they're going to do Saturday night, right? But they
That's
have to
my
be in
guess.
Miami.
They're scheduled in
Actually-
Miami on Sunday.
actually, I would.
I'll go with them.
I actually think it's going to be. If I had to guess, and I have no information here, so don't take this, but my guess is they would do a McCartney and pull them on Friday. Do U2 on Friday night, do The Weeknd on Saturday, and the Chili Peppers on Sunday night. The Weeknd is such a monstrous pop act that I can't imagine them not putting them on the most populated day. Putting him on the most populated day. It's a massive stage show.
Could be.
Saturday just seems right for that kind of show.
Could be.
But if it's Friday night, that means they've got an extra day to play with.
Yep.
And then
That
stick
works.
around for the Saturday night Super Jam, which is sort of my guess.
I looked at their schedule. They're definitely off Friday and Saturday. You too. I don't know about Thursday, but that does give them plenty of wiggle room there.
That's fun.
And again, they're in Miami on Sunday night, so plenty of chance to jump in on Super Jams and things like that.
That idea of artists performing with other artists is also something that is fairly
Great
unique,
point.
I think.
That's a great point.
Jimmy Page a few years ago when he was around dropped in with just about everybody. it
Yeah,
seemed.
David
awesome.
Byrne. I think David Byrne brought a bicycle.
And
So he could ride
Cool.
around on that back road to
and
get
to
to the different stages.
put a bow on exactly what you've been talking about. Do you know the reason why Chance the Rapper is the fourth artist on this lineup is not just because Chance the Rapper is going to have a monster year, which he will, and not because he's a really, really great hip-hop act. It's because every year that he shows up, he's the mayor of Bonnaroo. He shows up to every single
That's true.
person's show,
Oh, that's
jumps
cool.
jumps on stage, and immerses himself in this product, immerses himself in Bonnaroo. And Bonnaroo rewards him by saying, oh my God, you love us so much, we are going to show the love back to you. And, you know, there's a reason why he's on the top line. Is he the best hip hop act in the world? Maybe not, but he's going to have a good year. He's going to have a great album. He's a top bill hip hop act, and he loves Bonnaroo, so he is going to be everywhere.
They have
this
a
weekend.
couple of those sort of ambassadors, don't they? Warren Haynes would be one.
Jim
Trey
James.
Anastasio,
Jim James.
Anybody from the Dead. I mean, they love the Dead.
Yeah.
Me too.
So yeah, I mean, and that's a part of it is the surprise element, I think.
Yeah.
And there's also, again, if you've not been, there's a comedy tent, there's a movie tent, there's all kinds of vending.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny to talk to people who've never been, and almost always their perception is of 2002 and that traffic.
Oh, I do think about that.
Hasn't been a part of it
I've
since
never
2002.
never sat in traffic before,
No.
ever.
Really?
Never, not
Okay.
once.
Well, to
Yeah.
be fair,
Well, there's
it's
I
not going to
remember-
go the same for you necessarily as it does for this guy right here, or even necessarily.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do get a police escort, and I forgot about that.
Oh.
yeah, but the
But
traffic.
the traffic's
is
not a problem like it used to.
Not like it used to.
I think the other thing that people have in their mind that they remember is a torrential downpour, or if they've been once, they had a really sort of weird experience or a bad experience, and they weren't ready for what they were walking into. And when that happens, if you're not prepared to immerse yourself and give up control,
You gotta give it up.
Oh boy,
I can do that.
things could get pretty.
Have more patience than you ever had in your life. That's
Oh.
one
Well,
thing I would say.
That's that whole Bonnaroo
Just for
attitude.
3.5 days.
The other thing, I mean,
4 maybe.
Need some assistance.
13
with that.
years for you, going on 16, 12 for me. I've yet to hear a crossword from
Oh.
anybody there.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
cool.
Other
I'm
than
sorry.
you two.
Except for,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Uncle Barry. What does crossword mean?
Yeah, that's a.
There's just this attitude. I mean, I remember the first year I went by the Lost and Found tent just
Like
to see what
Woodstock.
kind of things are turned in, and obviously there was all sorts of paraphernalia.
No way.
But some guy was there. He had lost his wallet the night before at the whatever, the main area. 80,000 people. It was turned in with everything in it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you bump into somebody and they're like, "Here you go," or you get out of line to go
Sense
get
of
something.
We ran into a
Community.
cell phone in one
Community.
year, and I dropped it off at the
Yeah, we called the guy,
Yeah.
tracked him
Yeah.
down. That was
Yeah, so I mean,
that
it's
was-
it's communal, and it really does
need
change your
ours.
attitude.
We turned it in after we took some nudes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was,
That was Brad's idea.
I'm sure they appreciated that.
Yeah, there's a
You
reason why it's
know,
called
that much
camp.
battery left.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it's called Camp Nut Butter. You know what I mean?
The advice I
Okay,
get,
I
I
like
get
that.
parents who will call me all the time. My kid wants to go. They're 16, 17. They're graduating high school. Should I let him go? They
I got
never
that,
go.
that question a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure we all. And
By the police.
my thing is, tell them don't bring drugs. They can get them there. And the other thing is, and I'm kidding. The other thing is, if they're the kind of kid that trouble finds, or they find trouble, they will
They'll find it. Yeah.
If they're the
Oh.
kind of kid that's level-headed and can make decisions, they'll be perfectly fine.
It's not a dangerous place unless
Not
you
at
make
all.
it a dangerous
Yeah, no, if
place,
you
and that's
wanna
true in
make it-
anything in life.
What if you are trouble?
You're gonna find trouble.
Uh-oh.
No, if I'm working, be cool.
Yeah.
Barry will, protect me.
Yeah.
I feel like Barry's
sure.
a good person to go with, though. I feel like I would feel safe with Barry around.
I feel safe
Is
wherever
that right?
wherever I go with Barry. Just at lunch. Oh, this feels so. I feel so comforted.
No, I mean, I honestly would be a little hesitant to go on my own.
let me tell you what
Yeah.
Barry. Let me tell you what Barry does. If there is a light day at the campsite, right? There's not many artists that Barry wants to see. He'll go out. He'll meander
He'll
around.
work.
But what you can count on
Yeah.
is Barry Corder sitting at camp with a blanket wrapped around him,
Oh.
waiting for all the kids to come home.
Aw,
Till everyone is safe
that's
in bed.
totally Barry.
I swear to God, he
Staying up.
he
Y'all
stays
kids
up
don't stay out
till
too late.
3 o'clock, 4
Are you
o'clock,
gonna be
5
like,
o'clock.
where is Lesley? Is she okay? Or are you just gonna?
He will stay up until the last member of the family gets tucked in. You know,
Oh.
House of Prairie,
Me
Little House on the Prairie style, man.
Me and Mike Dewar, we're waiting up till everybody comes home.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
have
you're
to.
like the project manager, kind of.
Oh, I
in
can't take
this?
credit for that. No, I just
Well,
bring all the garbage.
My
And
hopes for you are like
Leave
this year, you totally like let that go.
Not gonna
and
happen.
It's
Not gonna
It's
happen.
like what that guy broke bad. This
It's not. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Barry, Bryan, what are the chances of me letting go of all of our
I would
amenities?
love
Zero.
to see that.
Zero chance.
I would love to see that.
Turquoise is another.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also was here not long ago. Riverbend, as a matter of fact. They're a New York-based band, very experimental.
What's their name?
Turquoise.
Turquoise.
Turquauz.
The names of bands.
All right, so overall,
Okay.
good, bad, great.
Ugly.
Interesting.
Interesting.
It's not for. I mean, it's not for me from top to bottom. But I can find plenty of things that I'll enjoy seeing, no doubt, and that's true every year.
It just to me the lineup matters less and less every year. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's I'm out of the EDM world, but the more that I go, and the more that we do our camp thing, and the more that this stays the magical place that it stays, you could have 100 people farting into a microphone for all I care. I would still probably go.
Well, part of it is
If he got side stage access.
Yeah, I'd have to get the right credentials. Yeah.
So we've left part of this out.
Good point,
Get
Barry.
real.
part of it is that circle thing there, right? we've been long enough that we've seen probably all the acts that we really, really want to see. The bucket list acts.
Yeah.
I mean, McCartney for me was one. There's Radiohead. I mean, Springsteen. So, you know, then it becomes, do I want to drive 3 hours to see an act I've seen 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
But to your point, this whole weekend is magical.
And
Yeah.
neither of you have seen U2.
No.
No?
I'm not.
No, and that's
Beautiful
I'm
voice.
very, very. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Again, if I don't see them in June,
Even if you're
I
not
never
big
will.
fans, it's cool.
Yeah, I had somebody yesterday tell me if they didn't go with their wife, there'd be a divorce. So they were one of those. Because it's probably going to be one of the few southern legs of the tour. So,
Right.
It is a full U.S. tour, but it's not. It's not as big as
Right.
it's not full leg of 40 shows. It's about, I don't know.
And to that point, you don't have to go for all 5 days. Bonnaroo has made it much easier to go just for a day or just for a show. I don't recommend it.
I don't either.
I think you're missing
You gotta
out
take
on
it all in.
I mean, you're missing out on the whole thing. But I mean, if there's just one act that you really just have to see, it's possible.
What you put into the farm will give back to you. And I hate to be really cheesy about it, but the more sweat you put into it, the more suffering that you do, it will come back to you in so many different ways.
See, I give you a little break
Enlightening.
because you leave sight. So you maybe go to a store or whatever.
Oh.
For a bit. Well, yeah, we'll just leave it. But,
Okay.
Oh.
Let's just say every morning I need to leave
need some
the
quiet
festival.
You're so funny.
And-
You going on a
Some
little
quiet
run?
time.
No, I drive to a hotel and just sort of meander around the
Again,
hotel.
there's
Are
certain
you
aspects of this we
serious?
haven't gone into full detail about.
Okay,
but,
I'm
See, I would
very
never leave because that
interested.
kind of breaks the magic for me.
I'm very interested in what I will do with myself there.
Yeah,
There's plenty to do.
yeah. There's lots to do.
I don't know if I
Yoga
I don't,
in the morning.
Oh, I love yoga.
Yeah, we do yoga in the morning.
there is,
Yes.
speaking of running, there is a 3 or 1K
I won't be
or
running.
some fun
There's
run.
there's a
No.
5K.
Yeah, I don't
run.
suggest it. I'm just
No.
saying.
Yeah.
If you would like to, it's
Never,
there.
never
Maybe
seen
just-
it.
Yeah.
I hear there is
And
something
you
like
say
that.
I won't have to run away from anyone because everyone's cool.
No,
My only advice to
Okay.
anybody that's never been is so there's a couple of things. Immerse yourself. Secondly, if you're ever like meandering around Centeroo, or if you go out into
Center room.
the main camping areas,
Okay.
and you're wandering around, and someone wanders up to you and throws you a baby,
No.
swat the baby. Just swat the baby because you don't want to be left with a Bonnaroo baby. Because they're going
No,
to throw you
I
the
don't.
baby
I
and
don't
then they're
want a
going to
baby
run.
from my
This
and you're going to be
will
stuck
not
with
happen.
a Bonnaroo baby.
This will not happen. Do
No.
not worry about this.
Okay. Yeah. I have enough of those.
Yeah, I mean, my advice, I guess we could do that, is plan ahead. There's plenty of online
That's what you're for.
groups that can help you.
And you'll
what to
be
bring,
doing
what not to
stories
bring.
about it leading
Oh
up.
yeah. And I actually, what I've learned is you don't need near as much as you think you do.
Yes, you do,
Okay.
Barry. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need
Much
more.
different.
We
Well-
need much more. We brought a leather couch last year. Yes, we need more.
He has a queen size bed.
Yeah.
This
A
one
queen,
is
it might maybe
hilarious.
full size bed.
It is. Yes. With the down comforter
Oh.
A
And
full length mirror.
and a full length mirror.
Air
So-
mattresses
oh
are
my
key.
goodness.
Ice is key. Shade is key. There's food there. I mean, there's
Sunscreen. No.
sun. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Those things are boring. You know,
You-
everybody
you-
knows those
Just
things.
go online and
You
look.
need-
There's a list.
Wow.
What you
Yeah.
need is a vacuum cleaner, and what you need is
you-
500 square feet of
You need a
carpeting.
Bissell.
Is anyone like allowed in your tent, or do you have to like really like?
I've only been able to peek in. I don't really
I don't care
know.
to look what's in
I
there.
feel like you'd freak
It
out.
looks like Genie's
I
bottle.
forgot about
Yeah.
the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
You don't
vacuum
need a
cleaner.
vacuum cleaner.
Well, I kind of
They
want
help,
to do stories. If you know, we're trying to. This whole Facebook Live thing started around the time Bonnaroo was going on last year in May, because we did Facebook Lives from Riverbend. That's when it all started. So we're gonna see what we can swing. at Bonnaroo, because that could be really cool. But I would like to experience things with the real people, like real getting
with
down
me.
with it.
Those are my people.
That is
Okay.
not a
Those
good
are my
idea.
No,
people.
and
No,
then-
that's an excellent idea.
Then
Those
I
are my
wanna
people.
go, okay, so I can hang with
Yes,
your people.
I have camped with these people many times. He doesn't know
No,
where these areas
right,
are. He doesn't
right.
know his way around. I can
Yes.
help you with that.
It's a different
Okay.
Salt
levels.
of the earth. Those are my people.
So then I want to contrast over to your people.
My people.
Like to show the different experience,
And there's
you know?
the different layers of how to attend
Yeah.
are massive.
Right.
From sleep in the back of your car to the RV.
Okay.
Spending a weekend at Bonnaroo with Bryan Stone is sort of like being in the underworld of Stranger Things. You know, it's just a different, dirtier, grungier place where when you wake up in the morning, you're going to look different. This man is,
Happened
I have never
before.
seen somebody look different, as a different human being from night to morning. It is remarkable.
This
I
is
think
called
we should,
not
like,
having a
kidnap
queen size
you.
bed. This is called not having a full length
What if
mirror.
we put you through that experience? What if we just,
I've done it once. I've done it
Oh.
once, yeah. And I'll never go back. I'll never go back to that.
I voluntarily put myself in that.
yeah.
It's fun.
Okay.
I've not done the general camping, but the first year, all I had was a piece of plywood and 2 sawhorses and an umbrella,
That sounds
which I
real.
bungee corded to the table.
That's
And
real life,
as the
right? That's
shade-
real life right there.
As
Weird.
the
Barry.
sun
Questions?
moved, I moved with the shade.
Yeah,
So,
I just am too lazy for that. This is the
I
point.
wouldn't go back.
Yeah, it's not that I couldn't do it. It's just that I just feel so lazy. And when I'm there, I just want to sit around and make fun of my friends. That's really all I
He's
want
really
to do.
good at it, as a matter of fact.
All right.
So a lot of people are just commenting. Is this your phone?
I dropped it.
Wow.
I
Okay.
really thought you were going to pull up a nude.
Oh.
That would have been really
It's a
uncomfortable.
little early, but maybe
Well.
later. Okay, so Tish Jackson, she wants to see you too. She thought she was done with Bonnaroo, but this makes her want to
Don't
go.
be done, Tish. Don't be done.
Yeah, never give up. Never give up the dream.
Satin, Elizabeth McDaniel. What a cool name. Satin. I know a Velvet, also
Really?
a cool name. Yeah, real names.
Where does she dance?
No.
No.
She just, her mama liked that name. Yeah, there's a lot of funny Southern names like Bambi, Bunny. They're for real. Anyways,
And they're all
so-
under neon lights.
East
Hey,
23rd.
don't hate it.
Silhouette.
They're talented. Anyways, so she says kids should probably not go unless they're accustomed to that kind of environment. So she knows what kind of environments kids should not be
And
in.
depending on what you mean by kids.
So, well, I don't know. So, yeah, I
It's-
mean,
To me, it's a perfect rite of passage. I can't imagine
Well-
being a sophomore, junior in high school and having that option to look forward to. That would have been so cool.
It's always been you're not
Yeah.
cool unless you've gone to Bonnaroo. I
I'm-
hope
I'm-
it still is that way.
I'm 35 and I still say to myself, boy, I'm looking forward to that option every year.
Well, I'm just saying that rite of passage.
Right, I think you're right, absolutely.
And that's what they designed it as. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that way on purpose.
a lot of people are just saying they're like me, Bonnaroo virgins, that they've always wanted to go. April Eastridge says she's always wanted to go.
Go, April.
Yeah. Satin also says EDM is not the heart of this. I miss DMB.
Dave Matthews Band. Yeah.
See, I
She's
was
old school.
never really big into Dave Matthews.
Yeah. Well, for the
No,
purists,
sorry,
for
everybody.
the Bonnaroo lineup purists, it's definitely taken a transition. It's definitely been a transition to go from a jam band festival to having to compete with 35 different festival options.
Yeah.
It's a tough slog, and I think that they try to make the best of it that they can. But again, if your musical dollar is spent lineup based, then you can find other things, but this is an experience. This is a completely different world.
That's exactly right. It was a jam band, hippie band, festival, whatever, at the beginning because they had to find fans that would camp.
Ah, that's a great point.
I mean, it's that simple.
And they've
as
gone through a
they've
few
added things.
They've gone through a few different transitional phases.
Yeah.
I mean, they went into when they had Tool and Radiohead and Tom Petty, around 2006, and then they got a little more classic rockish.
Which was that progression to bring in older people with money who want
bringing
comfort.
money, yeah. who
So
come and
along
spend their
with
money.
that comes the amenities, the showers, the bathrooms, the VIP camping, all of those sorts of things. So,
I mean, some people probably spend what $20,000 to do it real
can,
to do
yeah.
it really.
The the Roll Like the Rockstar bus, I think, is something like 18 to 20,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
Great.
it's
Which, by the way,
That's what
Times
you
Two Fresh,
have.
can you cut that check for us?
Yeah, right.
it's people who want that Woodstock experience. We hear that all the time. And the irony a little bit is that they're buying the tickets from the hippies that they want to see.
Well, it's
So
like
there's
the
more
Dead
and more
shows
VIP,
that
but-
have been ridiculous ticket costs. You know, like last year,
Yeah.
people, it was crazy in Chicago.
It's a lot of fun. To me, the lineup is like you guys said. There will be people there that I will discover that I'm thrilled, and
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what I'll
excited about
spend the next
Thursday.
several weeks and months doing, is making a playlist.
Who have you discovered? Did you discover somebody last year or the year before that you still to this day probably listen to every day, or
Bahamas.
Bahamas? And that was just a stumble upon because Brad guy said.
Followed Brad.
Yeah.
You know, like I was told. Walked up on Bahamas, and the guy next to me, I said, "This is a perfect Sunday morning. Clean the house, get the day started," and that's exactly what it's been ever since.
Yeah.
It's probably 2 years ago.
So
Courtney Barnett, complete different. I love her.
Yeah.
You're saying this dude, James
Vincent McMorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just can't. I just keep coming back to this album
Okay.
over and over and over. We Move. It's so
I like
pretty.
that.
It's so well produced. The lyrics are just gorgeous.
We need to listen to it.
And his
There's a lot on here that I don't know.
Okay.
and his voice is just.
I'm
as
like, you're
pretty as
selling
comes.
it for me. Okay.
Yeah, that's my go-to. That and Car Seat Headrest are probably my two stars.
Okay.
And there's a lot of fun stuff in there too. The Glass Animals there's not a better live show on the
Okay.
planet right now than Glass Animals.
When are they playing?
That's on mine.
We don't know.
this.
Yeah, none of
Oh,
that's
when does
in
the
there.
schedule come out?
That's going to be about May. First of
Okay.
May.
It's pretty close to the actual.
It's
month.
usually around the running of the Chihuahuas, Cinco de Mayo.
Shameless plug.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I
Do we
don't
want to
know.
go?
Thanks
Thank
for
y'all
having
for
us.
coming up.
I could do this all day. I could talk Bonnaroo all day.
Yeah,
I
this
could
was
too.
fun. I mean, I have a lot to think about. A lot to think
You
about.
know, it's so interesting. We saw the lineup and reactions from these guys, of course, is and then we're here and we talk for an hour about how great it is. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's normal.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And more of my thoughts on the Stone on Air podcast
Okay.
that can be
Right.
downloaded in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Do that.
While we're shamelessly
We'll be
plugging.
back at noon.
Yes, we
with
have
Taylor
Music
Bryan,
Wednesday.
double bass player with the symphony. That's the first time we've
What do you
done
need me to
that.
play?
Pretty.
Do you need me to play something?
The bongos.
Silent. Dead.
Man.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Just
very
be
excited
quiet.
about
You
Taylor
can't do-
coming
Can you
in.
just be?
I can't do that.
Well, I hope I make it through the vetting process.
Right.
Is there going to be any hazing? I need to prepare myself.
You know, we're not into the hazing.
Okay,
we prefer
good.
that
Yeah.
you just bring us things. Gifts.
Bring
is,
good
is
stuff.
better.
I could do that.
We don't like
And we're
punishment.
gonna-
We like
we got to
gifts.
start the awards this year, and I was the MVP last year. You
Okay.
said it at one point, and I was the MVP last year.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still got some
Alright.
few months. We got a few
You're
months.
rookie of the year. Rookie of the year. You're looking. That's what you're looking
Shaquem,
for.
you think I'll be okay?
I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be perfectly fine.
You won't necessarily get a head out of the deal.
You will
Oh,
not.
it's okay.
You know.
It's okay.
It takes years of struggle to get a Bonnaroo head.
Okay.
Check.
That's a
Okay.
check.
I do like a challenge, guys. So, all right.
Well, we are challenging. It's a group of challenges.
Can tell.
For sure.
All men are.
Challenged.
Yes.
Anyway, obviously, I
Okay.
hope this has been fun and informative, and
Yeah, and we'll
Thanks
post
for
the
watching.
lineup. I mean, not that you can't
lineup is
find
posted.
it
We
now.
posted it right at
You
8
did?
o'clock. Yep.
Always so good.
Yep.
Okay. Well, come back with us for Music Wednesday, and then we're doing some other. We're going to meet a Globetrotter
Got a
later.
Globetrotter coming in around 2.
Barry, please do one-on-one against him. Please do. I would kill to watch you play basketball
Not
with a
coming into
Globetrotter.
my house.
We're going to him. We're going to him. Yeah.
I root for the general.
He's not coming in my house.
And then we're going to potentially hop on over to the new guitar museum, and
Yeah,
they're
big
moving
news.
in
Those
the
guys are
guitars
loading in.
today.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
March openings, and they're moving stuff in. So, which is why Mike Dewar's not here. That, and he said somebody didn't want to babysit. I don't under.
He's talking about me, isn't
He's
he?
talking about you.
I know it was.
So
All right.
lots of fun stuff today.
There you
Music
go.
Wednesday is taking on some legs.
Yeah.
You know.
Exciting.
Cool.
That's
All
not
right.
new.
I know.
That's-
I don't know.
takes on
It's-
some legs.
it's
It
re-
sounds a
it's
little
like-
dirty.
Well, you know, this has been a little. I
Something-
mean, Bonnaroo maybe brings out.
You might grow a leg or two.
Yeah.
It might happen.
Yeah. All right. So,
Say goodnight.
Goodbye.
goodbye.